I would like just to say a thing which has been fundamental for me. We generally think that when we think about a teacher, that the teacher gives and the student receive. But after 13 years almost of teaching at SACI, I can say that the opposite is unavoidable. On average, we get more than what we give. And that's evident if you think about the numbers. We sit in classes with an average of 10 students, and we have to go through the souls, the backgrounds, I don't know what to say, but the lives of many people, and we can offer just ours. It's a privilege, and it's beautiful, but that's what happens. So today we'll talk about what I received, without, concentrating too much of the identities of our students. There's no need. Teaching is more or less like listening, and if you want to hear the whole speech, you have to withdraw, stay silent, and listen. And I think it's the best thing to do. Not always I've been able to do so, but I hope I'm learning, at least. Ladies first, Paulina. And one of the adjectives I haven't heard is blue, but I won't forget it, be sure of it. Paulina is an unicum in my career as a teacher in 13 years of life. And one of the first time I talked to her, she told me candidly, as she does everything. Well, seemingly, no, she didn't use the verb seemingly, she's too short to use them. But she said simply, I photograph to have the chance to print. And I think she can confirm that. And I laughed at that initially, and I took it as a joke. It was not a joke. I understood from her, and I learned from her, that printing is not just copying, recording something that happened before. And we argued about that many times. Printing is another shot, is another creation, is a recreation of a first stimulus that we got on the field. I still believe that there is a magic in the encounter with things in real life. But I understood and I learned from Paulina that in the dark room, something else can happen, and something decisive. And I had an evidence of it, and not just the only one, but one, maybe the last. When I stepped in the exhibition, I saw her dangerously trying to mount panels to hang her pictures and hanging her golden framed images at the wall. There is something which is incredibly and unforgettably alive in the way she used what people might think is a limited range of tones in between the black and the white. Well, in between the black and the white, there is life, and the whole life. Someone said, and I kind of agree with him or with her, that there are more possibilities in between the white and the black than in all the colors of the world. And Paulina gave sometimes an evidence, often I must say, an evidence of it. Paulina, like all good things, all good beings, has a lot of sides. We remind you too. The first side is, which is surprising, is how pragmatic, energetic, and active, and what kind of impetus she has when she does things. She doesn't need anybody else. She needs an idea, and then she pursues it. I've seen her in these days as working with nails and hammering, mounting a panel to hang her images, even work at, and I shouldn't say that, but work with electricity and creating a system of illumination that could fit in perfectly her work, and I wouldn't be able to do so, frankly. And this is another thing I learned from you. So the profoundly pragmatic but never dry, arid way of doing things, that's a gift, I think. And I think you have also shared with many other people. I think you were generous and collaborative. So you have been part of the group without losing your identity. It's great, I think. So thank you. But the second side is is the one that attracted me the most. At a point that I told her during the last review that I couldn't match them together for how different they were. And now I know that they can be miraculously compatible. She has a incredibly tender, contemplative glance, and she has a nomadic life. I think is the right adjective. May I say that? But she has created a home made of images, and it was surprising to see them all hanging at the wall. An exhibition is not just an exercise of vanity. artist organize an exhibition to see once for all, for the first time, all the work hanging together, so that they can have a whole idea of what I have done, is a recognition. And it's the first time we really see what happens. We give it a meaning. And I think it was that thing for Paulina when she saw the first time her images hanging from the wall. I think it was the really first time for me when I saw them. And I understood many things that I was unable to understand before, so I apologize, Paulina, if I haven't done it in time. Leon, someone said that nothing is more dangerous than an idea if it's the only one we have. And I agree with that. So Leon was never a risk. He has had many ideas. And at least in these 2 years, I think, he has been many things. And he's been an artist in general, but a performer, a sculptor, a photographer, a painter, a singer, an actor. Sometimes separately, often, as I have seen recently, in all of the time. And he has done all these things to break the frame, to escape from the frame that I think he felt as a cage, because the frame can be a cage, and I agree with you. I remember one phrase by Leon that I've heard in the last review, which hit me. And again, a teacher has to understand that it's possible to not understand in time sometimes. And we have to be humble enough to go back, say, I'm sorry, and confess, I got it. Well, he said to me, making art is like setting off on the road. It's like living. You know more or less the direction, but you don't know the destination. That's what you said, if I'm not mistaken. It's profoundly true. We never know where we will go, and this is the beauty of it. If we were the opposite, why creating? And art makes sense is as close as possible to life. Art makes sense if we breathe it, and we do it because it's a necessity, not because we have to. Art is not a way of doing, it's a way of living, I suppose. And this is the only sense of creating things. And Leon wanted, and he wants, and he will want, I'm sure of it, to escape from all the frames that people will try to put around him, and to say not what he wants to say, but what he is, which is the point. And I got it, maybe a bit late. We have had a lot of confrontation and discussions about what he was supposed to do, what I was supposed to do with him, because anytime we talk to a student, what the real thing on the table is not what a student has to do, but what you have to do. This is the point. Because it's teaching is a very delicate matter, I think. It's knowing what you have to withdraw, knowing when the silence is the right thing to do, knowing when, even if it sounds a bit difficult and not exactly diplomatic, you have to say something. I hope to haven't broken too many vases, but I hope that these 2 years meant something to you, and that you found here the freedom you were looking for. And I'm grateful to you too, because I've learned from you the urgency of doing the things not just the way we want, but because they are what we are. And an urgency means that you cannot do anything else but them, and with all the strength and the energy you have. And if there is a land of freedom, is art in this word, I think. And then Andrew, and I think I want to spend, it's not just I have to spend the word for him. I want to spend more than one word for him. Andrew has been a dedicated, passionate, courageous, and sharing student. I think no one can say that, I can't imagine that someone here can say that he didn't help you. He helped whoever had the chance to go across his road. For personal reasons, which I regret, he decided to fly before to the US, but he's in spirit, as we say, present. And I do think that he has adhered, as much as I've rarely seen, with his work to his life, and to his feelings, and to his way of being in Florence. And his book, What is Sleep, says a lot of things of what he has done. I've turned the pages of his book more and more times in these last days, and he spoke to me more than his beautiful prints, more than his installations, more even of his paper. In that book, there is all the things that Andrew has done. There is the idea that the images and the works have to be unhurted. And when they come up, and you can still, they're still dirty of the soil, of the earth that they came from. They're still dirty. And when I use the adjective dirty, is in a positive way, of the humus that had generated them. In Andrew's work, there is these and many other things. I just would have liked to have him here to listen to what I had to say about him. He would be, I think, happy. That's it. Thank you.